If you allow your healthy boundaries to take care of you, you will lower your stress. And stress is a very serious health issue, mental health issue, and relationship health issue. Healthy boundaries are there to take care of you. So ask yourself, are there boundaries you need to set to take care of you, to treat yourself well, to find times of rest, times of creativity, times of renewal, times of productivity? All of you are in the ups and downs of your own life journey, and your path is being drawn by the boundaries you set. Your life's journey is being designed by what you say yes to and what you say no to. I remember one time when I had just started to awaken from the boundaries that have been laid upon me since birth. The boundaries of being a good girl, the boundaries of growing up to be a good wife and mother, the boundaries of appropriate career paths for my family and community, the boundaries of what is expected of me to achieve and what is demanded of me to never try or do. My awakening started with the simple desire to learn more about what I truly thought of myself in this world, and myself in this universe. And my awakening grew from there, like it may have for many of you. Soon I was feeling the incredible urge in me to learn more, to try more, to taste more, feel more. Just really, for the first time in my life, try more for me. Try to be me more. And I definitely love the mystical. So I was getting a little bit nervous because all my friends were really, we usually talked about the normal things we had in common. We were all moms at the same private school for our kids. We all had our little social club. On the outside, I had stayed within the boundaries that others had laid upon me since childhood. I ticked off those boxes. I got those gold stars. But all the while, I felt disconnected from this reality, this lifestyle, this Alena. I was talking with a friend of mine who was an intuitive and a very, very sweet woman who had a lot of insight. And I said, I just don't know. I don't know if I want to keep learning. I want to keep learning, but I'm kind of scared. And she said, what are you scared of? And I said, if I keep growing and evolving like this, and I finally let my spirituality show to who I know I am, I'm going to lose all of my friends. I'll be alone. And she just looked at me and she said, you might feel alone for a while, but you won't be alone. You'll be with the real you for the first time. Will that feel less lonely than faking it all the time? And you know what? She was right. Is it loneliness or is it a disconnect? Ever feel alone, surrounded by friends and acquaintances because you just felt like you didn't belong there? Like you didn't fit in with the group? Like a lone tourist inside your own life? That's how I was feeling when the beginning of my awakening took root. Having gone through it, I have to tell you, you will find new friends. You will find people who love you for who you are, and you won't feel alone with them. You won't have that heaviness of being anything other than who you are. So if you're living inside your own life's path, saying yes to things and no to other things, and joining the appropriate social groups that are filled with people who don't have a growth mindset like you do, who only can talk about the news, the latest crisis, or the sports game, or if we bring brownies in tomorrow morning, and none of that lights you up inside, then you have surrounded your life with boundaries that you didn't create, consider, or even consciously approved. You need to not pen yourself in like that. You need not live a life you didn't consciously create. You did the best you could inside those boundaries and expectations until now. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you have to do it. You won't find happiness being some watered down version of yourself. A penned-in spirit cannot soar because it does not dare to soar. But here's the thing. Once your mind gets hold of the truth, once you start to see these imposed unhealthy boundaries and how they never fit you, their hold on you loosens. It's like the monster under the bed. Once you look at it, you see it's really just a scared version of you trapped by fear, too scared to come out. But now is the time to act. Once you see the loneliness inside a life not custom made by you, you have the opportunity to set new healthy boundaries. Boundaries that are there to care for you, to support your happiness, to enjoy your growth. This is the time to start trying new things and exploring new boundaries for yourself, healthy boundaries. And you will see some people fading out of your life. And you may find that you're happier for it. You may see changes in the things you say yes to and the things you say no to. The people around you, they may get upset and even angry. But remember, these are boundaries for you, not for them. So what are some healthy boundaries you could set to support you during this awakening of your spirit? To do something you love to do for 1 hour every day. This could be as simple as taking your lunch as a picnic in a nearby park, or a painting class once a week and painting for an hour each day. This could be as amazing as writing articles for your favorite magazine and submitting them each week. Gosh, from skydiving to reading poetry, the best part is you choosing. It's your boundary to set, and it sets you up for happiness every day. How do you set healthy boundaries? You consciously create healthy boundaries. You compassionately state your healthy boundaries. You lovingly maintain your healthy boundaries. At the beginning of our talk, I said, ask yourself if there are healthy boundaries you need to set to take care of you, to treat yourself well, to find time of rest, times of creativity, times of renewal, times of productivity. This introspection, getting still within yourself, seeing your life through omniscient eyes, is how you gain awareness of the boundaries you need to set up so that you can consciously create them. Look into the areas where you find you are most stressed out. Write this down as it will serve you in setting up healthy boundaries. Here are the areas you can look at to see if you need to set boundaries: emotional, physical, mental, energy, or material. Is it in the area of emotional boundaries? Are you being swept up into other people's dramas? Are you sweeping up people into your dramas? You may need to set a boundary here. Is it in the area of physical boundaries? Are you being touched too much or not enough? Do you feel loved by public displays of affection and your partner doesn't? Are you too touchy-feely with people who don't reciprocate? Perhaps you are crossing their boundaries, and this needs to be cleared up. Is it in the area of mental boundaries? This can be a tricky one to see, so let me explain. If you find yourself not valuing your own opinions or thoughts, feelings, because they are not the same as your social group, like I was doing with my group of moms at the private school, then you are likely not allowing people to have different values and opinions as well. Listen, I do get it. It's always a two-way street. But I like to highlight this one because it can be so corrosive to your sense of worth and can really pen you in, eating away at your sense of self until you're secretly the monster under the bed, too afraid to come out into your own life. Is it in the area of energy? Do you have a friend or a social group that every time you spend time with them, you feel drained? Perhaps you make plans with your spouse or your best friend, and they always flake on you. Perhaps every time a friend of yours calls to ask you out, you say yes out of obligation, but you drain yourself by doing that. This can also happen in your professional life. If someone is always asking for work for free or favors, and your time is completely being used up by trying to please other people, these are all indications your boundaries are not clear and not set up to support your happiness. Is it in the area of material boundaries? Have you lent out so much of your stuff that your house looks bare? Do people just assume they can use anything you have whenever they want it? This might be a place to start creating healthy boundaries. Once you've really journaled about these areas, taking the time to really get awakened to the reality you're living in, you can see what healthy boundaries need to be set. Now it's time to compassionately state your healthy boundaries. Stating your boundaries is a pretty straightforward exercise. You simply state it. But here's where your spirit comes in. You can seat yourself inside your own why during the other person's reactions. They may be angry because they are used to you behaving in a certain way, and now you're going to change. They may embrace you and say, "This is a great idea. Let's do this together." They may ignore you altogether and not accept your boundary as having any value. Now, if your why is as big as "I can no longer live this way, my mental, physical, and emotional, energetic, or material self is in jeopardy of being extinguished," then their reaction is just the exact information you need to know so you can stay in the reality of the relationship and you can choose to say yes or no to things in order to support your happiness. Now, it's time to maintain your healthy boundaries. This is really your opportunity to love yourself, to care for yourself. And what might not be apparent to the person who's set a new healthy boundary with, but it's also a kindness to them. I'm not saying it won't be challenging. Of course, it will be a growth. Growth is challenging, but so really rewarding. When you can maintain your boundaries and say yes to things and no to things according to your new boundaries, you are really saying yes to things that will support your happiness, your health of your relationships. And yes, things will look different and feel different, and that can be a challenge. But is it lonelier to live a life stressed out, surrounded by people who don't respect your boundaries, most especially yourself? Or is it healthier to create boundaries now that can shape and reshape your life to support your happiness? Your picnic every day, or your painting class, or your quiet morning times. When you find yourself being pulled back into the old ways, take a breath, revisit your journaling, and seat yourself back into your spirit, into your soul's manifesto, into your healthy boundaries and the life you were meant to live. Remember, spirit is love, and love is spirit. Setting healthy boundaries is good for your spirit, good for your health, good for relationships, and good for your soul. Namaste, my beautiful friends. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll enjoy. Namaste.